What's up, LegacyMaker Sports? It's Joey. I'm back with another game preview, and this week we get to preview some turkey legs and Kentucky bourbon. We get to actually preview the Virginia Tech Hokies and the Louisville Cardinals, a game that got a whole lot bigger after North Carolina lost again, this time against Georgia Tech. With the Tar Heels losing, that means that two teams sit directly under Florida State, and let's be honest here, the Seminoles are going to the ACC Championship. The question is, who is going to face them? So when I wrote my season preview, I can't believe I'm even thinking about saying this, but both the Louisville Cardinals and the Virginia Tech Hokies are tied for the next best record in the ACC. Furthermore, this game, whereas it's still early, could determine who's going to the ACC Championship. So let's talk about what happened last week, and we'll start with the Hokies. And honestly, I don't think anyone expected the Hokies to be as dominant as they were. But the Hokies ended up winning 38-10 against a tough Syracuse team, giving up 0 rushing yards and only giving up 130 passing yards. And on top of that, they got 318 rushing yards and 210 passing yards. This was definitely the most dominant that we have ever seen the Hokies play all year. And as for the Cardinals, they came out of their bye week seeking revenge for their loss against Pitt a week before, and they came out against a really tough Duke team and were also dominant. They gave up 0 points, held them to 51 yards on the ground and 151 yards in the air, and the Cardinals' offense didn't look too bad either, scoring 23 points and rushing for 234 and throwing for 117. So both teams are coming into this game off of really dominant wins, which should make for an interesting game this week. I think for the Hokies to get off to a fast start is probably going to be the biggest key for them in this one. Louisville is really good. They are a sound, defensive-minded team, and you're going to need to get them on their heels early if you want to force them to do things your way. Virginia Tech has a really good secondary, but they also have a really good defensive line. If you can get Antoine Powell-Ryland going early, I think that'll be really good for the Hokies long-term in this football game. And then for the Cardinals, you've got to figure out how to stop Kyron Drones. That shouldn't be too hard because you managed Riley Leonard, and so if you can manage Riley Leonard, in my eyes, it wouldn't be that hard to also manage Kyron Drones. The other side of that is you've got to stop the other two hottest hands in this Virginia Tech offense, in Malachi Thomas and Bashal Tutin, who are arguably coming off of their best games last game. So they've got a really tough test ahead of them as far as controlling those guys. The other side of it is protecting Jack Plummer. You have got to be able to keep him protected. Like I said, that Virginia Tech defensive line is tough, and they are going to get to the quarterback. They proved it last week, and they're hoping to prove it again this week. All in all, this is going to be a very interesting game. This is the first game where the Hokies have a shot to prove themselves as a legitimate football team. For the first several games out there, the Hokies were really lacking an identity, and now that they found it, can they prove that it actually works against good opponents? The Cardinals only have had the one bad game, and outside of Pitt, they've been a model of consistency in the ACC this year. So can they continue to prove that they are a consistent football team and that they are worthy of that 15 ranking? And can they prove that they can hold teams like Virginia Tech, who are coming into this game extremely hot? I think both teams can prove that they can do both, but at the end of the day, I still have the Louisville Cardinals winning a close, hard-fought game, and it's either going to be one of those games where we see a ton of points scored or we see no points scored, because it's going to be a matter of, is offense or defense going to win the day? Thanks for listening, guys. Please like and subscribe to LegacyMaker Sports Network, and also keep an eye out for the next episode of Sportsbology, which is going to be coming soon. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you next week.